I'd never lived in the city before. I didn't know where to go. I was with a few friends at the Ginger Man Bar talking about what we were going to do, jobs, maybe dating, where we were going to live. I didn't even know where to go. The cell phone and internet weren't helping me at all because they hadn't been invented yet. So I said, kind of a personal question to my friend Mark. I said, so where do you go in this city at 2:30 in the morning for a big feed? He said, he nodded his head. I know just where to take you. He was experienced. He lived in the city for 2 weeks. So, of course, he took me to Diner Grill at 1635 West Irving Park Road, Chicago, Illinois, 60613. And when we got there, I looked and I was like, I thought there was a choir surrounding the place. This was the perfect place for me. And I had a big framed picture in my apartment, my first apartment, of the Edward Hopper image of Nighthawks, that you can see at the Art Institute. And I just kind of thought, looking at that photo, looking at that painting in the Art Institute, or having a cheeseburger here, I think I made the right choice. A number of years later, I go back to Diner Grill, and they have this, I don't know what to call it. It's a meal, I guess. It's called the Slinger. There are people here who know it well. And it's made out of, I guess, hash browns, onions, cheese, 2 hamburger patties, 2 eggs, and chili. And there are a lot of dogs who would see it who think, I'm not going near that. But a 25-year-old man or 30-year-old man will eat it, especially under the influence of a little alcohol or weed. So anyway, I sit down to have my first Slinger, because we always remember our first time. And there's a guy sitting next to me who is just absolutely huge and incredibly focused. And he's got a black leather jacket on and zippers and tattoos of skulls and crossbones on his neck, And he's eating the Slinger, but he's not really looking at anything. He's just kind of got this rhythmic feeding. And the guy behind the counter says to me, what do you want? And I said, I'm going to have the Slinger. And the big guy next to me, he turns to me and he says, nice. So I'm eating it, and I'm really only able to finish about 60% of it. And this guy next to me sees what's going on, and he goes kind of like this. He goes, And I understood what he was saying. I have brothers. So I turned and said, you want the kill? You want to finish it? He said, So I gave it to him, and he finishes it, and then he pays, and then he leaves, and he revs up his Harley, and I realized this guy is the 13th Greek god. He's the Greek god of diners, Slingerus. So many years pass, and I take my youngest kid, Asher, to Diner Grill. Asher's about to graduate from high school, and I said, Asher, I love you so much. You're a great student. You got into a good college, friends, you're a talented musician, fantastic, but you can't graduate high school until you eat a Slinger, okay? So we go in there, and I kind of step aside, and see how this is going to go. And Asher's sitting on the stool. There's only stools there. And the guy goes, can I help you? And Asher's like, I'd like a Slinger. And the guy behind the guy said, you got it, boss. And I was so proud. And Asher finishes about 61% of it, which is a little more than I had my first time. Progress, I guess. And I go turn to Asher and I'm like, And Asher says, Dad, you want to finish it? I said, yeah, I kind of do. thanks. And I finish it, and I turn, and I said, Asher, you get an A for your kindness, enthusiasm, and focus and generosity. And you know what? Yeah, I'll pay for your college. So, a couple of years later, started dating a woman, and I wanted to show her a good time in Chicago and, go to a fancy restaurant, so we go to Diner Grill. But I wasn't quite ready to have the slinger experience a month into a relationship. I mean, only fools rush in. You gotta get to know somebody. So we had something light, a big platter of fries with cheese and bacon on it, and Diet Cokes. And it went well, she loved it. And then about 6 weeks later, her son is in town, and she's trying to get him to move to Chicago. And I get a text. And she says, guess what the first restaurant we went to was? Diner Grill. I'm like, oh yeah, progress. And then she says, and he ordered a slinger. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm really having an impact on people. Then usually texts are kind of innocuous, just sending a joke or plans or some meme or something like that. And then she sends this emotionally weighted text. She goes, and he finished it. It's like, wow. And I started thinking of that guy that I met the first night I had a slinger, and my kid Asher, and my girlfriend's son Micah, and I thought, you know what? The future is in good hands and very strong stomachs.